Exclusive contracted novel by Feilu Novel Network. Wuxia. Opening full-level Tai Xuan Jing, Lin Chen traveled through parallel worlds and became the eldest son of Lin Zhennan from the Fuwei Escort Agency. Since Lin Yuantu's death, the Lin family has begun to decline. Fortunately, Lin Chen awakened the escort system, and as long as he completed the task, he could receive rewards. When he completed his first escort mission, the reward turned out to be the highest martial arts skill in the martial arts world, the Tai Xuan Jing. Lin Chen originally only wanted to inherit his family business, become a bodyguard, and live an ordinary life. Until one day, the Five Sacred Sword Sect finally couldn't bear it anymore and wanted to snatch the ancestral sword manual of the Lin family. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1 Opening Reward. Full-level Tai Xuan Jing. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Tianhe City, Zhou Prefecture. At noon, the scorching heat is unbearable, and the bustling streets are filled with crowds, truly bustling. Several carriages were parked in front of the Zhou mansion, filled with goods packed in large boxes. More than 10 servants unloaded and counted the goods, sweating profusely. Be careful, don't break the contents inside. A obese middle-aged man commanded people to unload goods. Mr. Zhou, we have already delivered your item. You must carefully inspect it. A young escort approached to remind. He is the escort in charge of this escort, named Lin Chen, the young lead of the Fuwei Escort Agency, and the brother of Lin Pingji. No, it's just some ordinary things. It's not a big deal. I feel at ease with the work of the Fuwei Escort Agency, let alone the fact that the young escort personally escorted the goods this time, so there must be no mistake. Mr. Zhou smiled all over his face, just glanced at him, and then asked the butler to offer all the remaining remuneration. Lin Chen also politely accepted the remuneration, so that his escort mission was finally successfully completed. After completing the escort mission, you will receive a reward of reaching the highest level of Tai Xuan Jing. At this point, the system issues a prompt. Upon hearing this, Lin Chen was immediately surprised. I didn't hear it wrong, did I? The reward is the top martial arts skill in Jin Yong's martial arts novels, the Tai Xuan Jing. He thought he had heard wrong and checked the system again. Task. Escort Zhou Dafu, a wealthy merchant in Tianhe City, completed, reward. Full-level Tai Xuan Jing, indeed, it is the Tai Xuan Jing. Lin Chen's breathing is rapid. He had a passion for martial arts novels since his past life. I naturally have some understanding of the Tai Xuan Jing. The Tai Xuan Jing is an extraordinary martial art recorded in the poem Xianxia by the exiled immortal Li Bai. It records the most powerful swordsmanship, lightness skills, boxing, and breathing techniques in the martial arts world. After completing all the exercises, you can string hundreds of acupoints throughout your body into one internal breath. The internal breath surges and surges, flowing rapidly like a large river. With the empty sword in his right hand, although he has no sword in his hand, his sword moves are constantly emerging. Swordsmanship, palm technique, internal skill, and lightness skill are all integrated into one. Simply put, Tai Xuan Jing is the highest level martial arts in the world of martial arts. As a traveler, Lin Chen naturally knows the power of the Tai Xuan Jing. Learning the Tai Xuan Jing, even if Xianxia personally comes, I am not afraid. A hint of killing intent appeared in Lin Chen's eyes. He was not originally from this world, but crossed over 3 months ago. Becoming the son of Lin Zhennan and the elder brother of Lin Pingji. Familiar with the plot of Laughing Proud Jianghu, Lin Chen is well aware of what will happen next. His younger brother Lin Pingji accidentally killed Yu Renyan, the son of Xianxia. Xianxia, under the guise of revenge, destroyed the entire Fuwei Escort Agency. Lin Chen was very clear that this was just an excuse from Xianxia. The true purpose of Yuzhanghai is the Lin family's illustrated sword manual. Although the Qingcheng sect is not particularly powerful among the Five Sacred Sword Sect, it is much more powerful than secular gangs. Although the Fuwei escort agency has some reputation, it is still not attractive enough compared to the behemoth of the Qingcheng sect. Moreover, besides Yuzhanghai, Yu Buchuan from the Huashan sect and Yue Lingshan from the Songshan sect, among other top-notch experts, covet their family's sword manual for warding off evil spirits. As the ancient said, a man is innocent and blames himself. The Lin family currently lacks the strength to protect the demon-repeating sword manual, which will definitely lead to a fatal accident. If Lin Yuantu is still here, even the Sun and Moon cult wouldn't dare to take the Lin family's advice. Later on, his younger brother Lin Pingji, in order to seek revenge, spared no expense in practicing the demon-repellent sword manual in the palace. Although he ultimately avenged himself, he also came to a tragic end. The Lin family is also extinct. In his reincarnation, Lin Chen naturally did not want to repeat the same mistakes. Fortunately, half a month ago, he awakened the escort system. As long as you complete the escort mission, you can receive rewards. So young Lin Chen asked his father Lin Zhennan to escort him. At first, Lin Zhennan refused. Lin Chen's attitude was resolute, and Lin Zhennan couldn't resist, so he had to agree to let him escort the goods. I didn't expect that the first reward for escorting goods was the top-level martial arts, Tai Xuan Jing. Now, not to mention self-protection, it's not a problem to destroy the Five Sacred Sword Sect. Escort Lin, it's quite difficult for you to travel on a starry night. Why don't you stay in your humble abode and rest for the night? It's not too late to return to the Fuwei escort agency tomorrow. Chow Tai Fuk warmly invited Lin Chen to stay. Thank you for Mr. Zhou's kindness, but there are still a few more escorts to go from the escort agency. Time is tight, and I dare not delay. Lin Chen declined. He needs to rush back to the Fuwei escort agency as soon as possible to prevent experts from the Five Sacred Sword Sect, such as Yuzhanghai, from suddenly attacking their family. Since that's the case, I won't force others to do it. Zhou Dafu didn't insist either. After chatting for a while, he bid farewell to Lin Chen. Xiao Baotou, if the overall Baotou knew that you successfully completed the task on your first escort, he would be very happy. A medium-sized bodyguard with a smile on his face. This person's name is Qingcheng, an old bodyguard from Fuwei escort agency and a capable general of Lin Zhennan. For Lin Chen's first time escorting, Lin Zhennan specially arranged for the old escort Qingcheng to lead the formation, which can reduce a lot of trouble. All along the way, we relied on the reputation of the escort leader to intimidate both black and white, so that our escort could smoothly reach Jianhe city. Lin Chen is very humble, not only giving Qingcheng face, but also not excessively belittling himself. Upon hearing this, Qingcheng felt very relieved and said, "Young escort leader is humble. Who in the world doesn't give us face at the Fuwei escort agency? Besides, young escort leader personally escorts the goods, so he naturally dares not come and cause trouble." The two of them chatted while rushing along. Not long after, I left Jianhe city and headed south along the official road. The group rushed day and night, not daring to delay for a moment. Finally returned to the outside of Fuzhou on the morning of the fifth day. Bark and click. A group of people rode horses along the official road. Suddenly, I saw a small inn not far away. "Escort Xiao, let's rush through the night. Even if people are fine, horses can't bear it. Why don't we take a break in this inn and let the horses eat some grass? It's not too late to set off later." At this point, Qingcheng suggested. When Lin Chen saw this inn, a familiar feeling instantly surged in his heart. "Okay, let's take a break here." The group entered the inn. The shop assistant is a girl with a pockmarked face. Seeing Lin Chen's extraordinary demeanor, she dare not neglect her. "Objectively, what are the key points?" Lin Chen glanced at her and knew that it was Yue Lingshan, the daughter of Yue Buchuan, the leader of the Huashan sect, who was pretending to be her. The purpose is to inquire about the news of the Lin family's exorcism sword manual. Good wine and good dishes are always served. Lin Chen pretended not to know and waved his hand, throwing an ingot of silver to Yue Lingshan. Sir, please wait a moment. Yue Lingshan went to the kitchen with silver coins. Lin Chen found a corner seat to sit down. In no time, a few more people walked into the inn. The head of the group is Yue Lingshan, the son of Yue Zonghai, the leader of the Qingcheng sect, who exudes a playful aura. There is also one, with a short stature, who is Jia Renda, the henchman of Yue Lingshan. These two people came to Fuzhou City to inquire about the news of the Demon Repellent sword manual. Sure enough, everyone who should have come has arrived. Lin Chen's eyes showed a hint of coldness. Chapter 2. Yue Lingshan in Huashan, a young man from Qingcheng. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. A few guests, what would you like to order? Yue Lingshan approached and asked. Help me make 2 pounds of flower sculptures and 2 plates of braised beef. Jia Renda said. Good. Yue Lingshan turned around and left. Wait a minute. Yue Lingshan saw that although Yue Lingshan was ugly, her figure was graceful, so he teased her and said, Jia Lao, this girl has such a graceful figure, but unfortunately her face is full of pockmarks. Jia Renda immediately agreed, Senior brother Yue, this flower girl has a great figure. She has a face, but she steps on the mud with spiked shoes, flips over the pomegranate skin, and looks like a hemp skin. A few people laughed heartily. Let go of me, let go of me. Yue Lingshan was grabbed by Yue Lingshan's wrist and wanted to break free, but she was afraid of exposing her kung fu skills and had to endure humiliation. Lin Chen remained unmoved upon seeing the situation. Yue Lingshan's martial arts are not bad, and there will be no danger with the second senior brother of the Huashan sect, Lao Dino, inside. Don't worry, young lady. Your face is full of pockmarks, and the master is not very interested. Yue Lingshan continued to tease, causing the disciples of the Qingcheng sect to burst into laughter. Sir, please show your respect. Yue Lingshan is still the first time someone has teased her like this at such a young age, and now her heart is in turmoil. Unfortunately, there is a task at this moment that makes it difficult to expose one's martial arts skills, so one has to dodge desperately. At some point, the makeup on her face was accidentally touched by Yue Lingshan. After all, Yue Lingshan is a martial arts practitioner with much more strength in his hands than most people. This touch directly tore off Yue Lingshan's disguise. Revealing a stunning face, Yue Lingshan was stunned on the spot. I didn't expect this ugly girl to be born like a fairy. Not inferior to Shi Feishuan, Wan Wan, Zhou Zhirua and others on the peerless list. But why should such a beautiful woman pretend to be ugly? Yue Lingshan wandered the martial arts world for some time, and soon felt that there was something fishy going on. What is your purpose in pretending to be ugly despite being so beautiful? Master Yue, what else are you talking to her about? Just take her down and let you interrogate her slowly. Jia Renda smiled wickedly. Upon hearing this, Yue Lingshan also became interested and immediately said, You're right. This woman clearly wants to be against me. Let's take her down and talk. Speaking slowly and quickly, Yue Lingshan grabbed Yue Lingshan's wrist in an instant. Want to take it off? You bastards, I'm going to exterminate the people today. Yue Lingshan was extremely embarrassed and angry. Although these people had ulterior motives, they were still the villains who reported first. Only now did she realize what the dangerous world of rivers and lakes means. She knew there was no need to disguise herself anymore and immediately rebelled. Sure enough, you know martial arts. Yue Lingshan's eyes were cold, and his moves became even more ruthless. As the only son of Yue Zonghai, the leader of the Qingcheng sect, Yue Lingshan has been studying the martial arts of the Qingcheng sect with him since childhood. In addition, with his exceptional talent, He is now a leader among the younger generation of the Qingcheng sect. Among his peers, the only one who can surpass him is Qingcheng Sixio. Although Yue Lingshan is the daughter of Yu Buchuan, she is still young and has not studied for a long time. After a few rounds, it quickly fell behind. Xiao Dart, should we go up and help? At this moment, Shi Jinsheng whispered in a low voice. Let's wait and see what happens. Lin Chen's eyes were slightly cold and he didn't intend to help. Although both the Huashan and Qingcheng sects are prestigious and upright, they engage in shady activities behind their backs. They also came to Fuzhou City this time to follow the Lin family's illustrated sword manual. Lin Chen has no reason to help either side. If Yu Renyen is killed by Yue Lingshan, will the Huashan sect and the Qingcheng sect fight to the death to break through the net? The idea flashed by in a flash. Lin Chen's eyes became increasingly cold. Young lady, you're quite good at fighting. I really like it, Grandpa. The rest of the people laughed and teased each other from time to time. Yue Lingshan, on the other hand, suffered successive defeats and was about to be taken down by others. At this moment, Lauderno in the kitchen heard the sound of fighting and ran out with 2 swords. You're looking for death. Laodinu saw Yue Lingshan being bullied and immediately drew his sword to kill him. After all, Laodinu has practiced martial arts in Huashan for over a decade and is also an undercover agent of the Songshan sect. Of course, one's abilities should not be underestimated. No matter how talented Yu Renyen is, it is extremely difficult to compete with both Laodinu and Yue Lingshan at the same time. After a few rounds, Yu Renyen fell behind. Senior brother Yu, I'll help you. Jia Renda and other disciples of the Qingcheng sect immediately drew their swords to confront each other upon seeing the situation. Kill this old thing first. Yu Renyen's eyes turned red with killing, and several disciples of the Qingcheng sect were ordered to kill Laodinu at the same time. Although Lauderno's martial arts are not bad, he cannot withstand the overwhelming number of opponents. After a few rounds, Lauderno was injured and a trickle of blood flowed down his body. Die for me. Jia Renda let out a roar and took the opportunity to sneak attack behind Laodinu, stabbing his heart with a sword. A stream of fresh blood came out of sight. Lauderno's face turned pale instantly, and a large amount of blood flowed from the corners of his mouth. Second senior brother, second senior brother. Seeing Laodinu being stabbed in the chest with a sword, Yue Lingshan was extremely anxious. She fought back with all her might and went over to check on Lauderno's injuries. Second senior brother, how are you? Tell the master to avenge me. Laodinu was covered in blood and his face turned pale. After saying these words, he was in despair. Second senior brother, you will be fine. Yue Lingshan sobbed softly. I didn't expect this to be the result of my first adventure in the world. Even the second senior brother is dead. Huh, Jia Lauer, your swordsmanship is good. You killed that terrible old man with just one strike. Yu Renyen grinned grimly. This person disguised himself as ambushing us here and was killed by us instead. He deserves his death. Jia Renda's righteous words. Young master, what should this little lady do? Later, I will personally interrogate her and explain why she disguised herself and ambushed us here. Yu Renyen's eyes flickered with evil light. He had long wanted to try what it was like to be a stunning woman on the charts. But those women are not only as beautiful as immortals, but their strength is also quite terrifying. Not to mention him, even Qingcheng for show may not be a match for these geniuses. Although he is conceited, he also has self-awareness. The girl in front of me, who looks extremely beautiful, happens to be an excellent substitute. You animals, kill my second senior brother Lauderno of the Huashan sect. Our Huashan sect will never give up. Yue Lingshan angrily rebuked. What, are you from the Huashan sect? Upon hearing the 3 words Huashan sect, Yu Renyen and the disciples of Qingcheng sect immediately changed their faces. They are well aware of the strength of the Huashan sect, which is still above the Qingcheng sect. Now they have killed Lao Dino, the second senior brother of the Huashan sect. The leader of the Huashan sect, Sword Yubuchuan, will definitely kill them to the death. At that time, not to mention them, even the Qingcheng faction may face the crisis of collapse. Chapter 3. 10 Steps to Kill One Person, Thousands of Miles Without Leaving a Row. You are listening at novelfull.audio. What should we do? Yue Lingshan's heart was in turmoil. He didn't expect that he would kill an old man casually, and it turned out to be a member of the Huashan sect. Now we have caused a big disaster. If he knew that this old man was from the Huashan sect, he wouldn't have taken the risk. At best, he would have taught him a lesson. Now that everyone is dead, it's too late to say anything. Young master, this is a wilderness and wilderness. Why don't we work tirelessly without stopping? A hint of cruelty flashed in Jia Renda's eyes. That's it. Yue Lingshan is ruthless and ruthless. In order to protect himself, he can't care too much. Leave no one behind. Jia Renda's face was grim, and the remaining disciples of the Qingcheng sect also surrounded Lin Chen and others. Upon seeing this, Qingcheng immediately drew his sword and stood up. Rampage. Don't think that our Fuwei Escort Agency is afraid of you. He came out under the name of Fuwei Escort Agency to scare others like Yen. After all, the reputation of the Fuwei Escort Agency is well known, and martial arts colleagues will also give some face. Furthermore, although Lin Yuantu is dead, but his reputation still exists, as he once defeated the world's experts with his own strength. But the scenery is very beautiful. The other party may not dare to do anything to them under the taboo. Jia Renda smiled wryly and said, Fuwei Escort Agency, good, good. I was just thinking about how good your anti-evil sword manual would be. Lin Chen sneered, I can't control myself. Jia Renda looked fierce and said, crazy. I really thought you were Lin Yuantu. Yue Lingshan said with a gloomy face, stop talking nonsense. Kill them all and talk. At the same time. Death. Jia Renda stabbed Lin Chen's throat with a sword. But at this moment, a cold light shone brightly. Then with a thud, a human head rolled down to the ground. Upon closer inspection, it turned out to be Jia Renda. Dead. Yue Lingshan's big eyes were hazy. He is well aware of Jia Renda's strength, at least not inferior to his second senior brother Lao Dinu. Who among the younger generation has the ability to cut off his head with just one move? Even senior brother Linghu is extremely difficult to achieve. Yue Lingshan was secretly shocked. The young man from the Fuwei Escort Agency, who is only 18 years old, has such terrifying strength. This kind of talent is really terrifying. What happened? Yue Lingshan was shocked and lost his color. That move just now was too fast. He couldn't see clearly what was happening, so Jia Renda disappeared. Jia Renda is an elite disciple of the Qingcheng sect, with considerable strength. Compared to myself, I am only slightly weaker. I didn't expect to be killed by a young boy from an escort agency like this. If it were me who just started, Yue Lingshan couldn't help but feel a chill in his neck and didn't dare to continue thinking. The sword just now was wielded by Xiao Dartu. Is this the Lin family's legendary masterpiece, Demon Repellent sword technique? Even Qingcheng next to Lin Chen was shocked. When he followed Lin Zhennan as a bodyguard in his early years, he also heard of the reputation of the sword technique for warding off evil spirits. But he had never seen Lin Zhennan demonstrate his true family heritage. Until today, when Lin Chen, who was only 18 years old, swung that sword, he only realized the horror of the Lin family's unique skills. No wonder the chief bodyguard never used this kind of swordsmanship. It turned out that he had never encountered anyone who could make him use this sword. Qingcheng firmly believes in his inference. Kill him, otherwise we won't be able to survive. Yu Renyan's scalp is tingling. The Lin family's swordsmanship is very terrifying. In a 1.1 situation, he has no chance of winning at all. Yu Renyan shouted, "Let's go together and kill him." The other disciples of the Qingcheng sect saw this and all wielded swords to kill them. If ordinary people encounter this situation, they will definitely be cut into meat and mud. Seeking death. Lin Chen drinks cold. Immediately afterwards, a cold light shone brightly. The speed was overwhelming, and all the disciples of the Qingcheng sect fell to the ground and died. At the throat, a ferocious wound can be clearly seen. Blood kept gushing out from inside. In a short moment, several fresh lives have completely lost their vitality. Dead. All dead. You killed them. You demon. Yu Renyan's face turned pale, and his speech was somewhat incoherent. He encountered such a terrifying opponent for the first time. It's your turn. Lin Chen's face was icy cold, like a killing god. You can't kill me. I'm the son of Yuantu from the Qingcheng sect. If you kill me, my father won't let you go. Yu Renyan was so frightened that his spirits were all rising. Quickly moved out his father Yuantu, hoping that the other party would let him off guard in front of the Qingcheng sect. Lin Chen sneered. Yuantu. If he dares to come, I'll kill him together. Just as we were about to take action, Lin Chen suddenly sensed a strong aura. There are also experts. Sure enough, a young genius could detect my whereabouts. A loud sound came from outside the store. At the next moment, a middle-aged man with disheveled hair had already appeared in the store. Lin Chen frowned and said, "Who are you?" The middle-aged man said, "Qingcheng sect, Yuanshan." Yuanshan. Lin Chen felt a chill in his heart as he had never heard of this person's name. But this person is very strong. Xiao Dartu, this person is the second most important figure of the Qingcheng sect and the junior brother of Yuantu. It is said that this person has practiced horizontal martial arts to the extreme, and his pair of iron fists is even more famous in the martial arts world. The most important thing is that this person is extremely protective of the calf. If we kill a disciple of the Qingcheng sect, Yuanshan may not give up easily. At this moment, the experienced Shi Jinxing quickly introduced to Li Feng. Do you practice kung fu horizontally? Lin Chen's eyes narrowed slightly. This kind of person has rough skin and thick flesh, which is really difficult to deal with. However, he now has a full-level mastery of the Tai Xuan Jing, and he doesn't even consider it a mere horizontal training master. Little friend, did you kill all these disciples of the Qingcheng sect? Yuanshan Forest Road. Yes. Lin Chen nodded. Dare to take action, good. Yuanshan's eyes gradually turned cold. Second uncle, kill him and seek revenge for your junior brothers. Yu Renyan spoke sternly. Don't worry, this son has killed so many disciples of our Qingcheng sect. I will deal with him on my own. Yuanshan's eyes were gloomy and he said in a cold voice, Kid, if you hand over your swordsmanship, perhaps I can spare your life. Is that right? Lin Chen sneered. It is indeed aimed at the demon repeating sword manual. Lin Chen's heart is filled with endless killing intent. If the Qingcheng sect is not eliminated, his Lin family will never have peace. Qingcheng sect, Yuantu. Huashan sect, Yubuchuan. Songshan sect, left cold Zen. Damn it all. Ha ha ha. Lin Chen burst out laughing, his killing intent surging. What are you laughing at? Yu Renyan scolded. But he didn't notice his second uncle at all. Yuanshan's face was extremely solemn at this moment. This kid is weird. Yuanshan had a strong sense of crisis and realized something was wrong, so he decided to take action first. In an instant, a terrifying internal force erupted, surging like a huge wave. This is the ultimate strength of practicing horizontal kung fu. Wherever the energy passes, it directly causes the surrounding wooden tables and benches to crack on the spot. Chapter 4. Brushing clothes and going away, deeply hiding merit and fame. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Damn it! Qingcheng exclaimed in surprise. He knew that Yu Guanshan's strength was too terrifying, afraid that the young Lin Chen would not be a match. Even if I risk my life, I must let the little bodyguard escape. Otherwise, how can I deserve the great kindness of the chief bodyguard to me? Qingcheng gritted his teeth and immediately prepared to die. He let out a loud roar and said, "Shao Dart, hurry up and let me resist him for a moment." Immediately, he lifted his sword and killed Yu Guanshan, competing for Lin Chen's escape time. "Escort, sure, please take it easy. I don't take this old thing seriously yet." Lin Chen reached out to stop Qingcheng. Then, casually wielding a sword. The speed is surprisingly fast, making it impossible for people to react in time. Yu Guanshan is a master of horizontal training, and his reaction speed is already much faster than the average person. But it's still half a beat slow. What happened? Damn it! There is such a fast swordsmanship in the world, it's really eye-opening. Is this the swordsmanship passed down by the Lin family? The exorcism sword technique is indeed powerful, so Yu Guanshan may not necessarily be a match for Lin Xiao's escort leader. There are many martial artists in the inn. At this moment, he looked surprised. They didn't see Lin Chen taking action at all. Only Yu Guanshan had the strongest strength, barely able to see Lin Chen's movements just now. He just casually drew his sword, very casual. But the movements are clean and agile, incredibly fast, and almost imperceptible to ordinary people. There are only a few swordsmen in the world who can practice ordinary swordsmanship to this level. Sword-wielding masters such as Xie Xiaofeng, Yan 13, and Shimen Shueishue. This young man has already reached this level at a young age. This swordsmanship is truly terrifying. No wonder Lin Yuantu defeated all the experts in the world with this sword technique back then. Now, upon seeing it, it truly lives up to its reputation. What a terrible swordsmanship! After speaking this sentence, a faint blood line appeared around Guanshan's neck. Subsequently, a large amount of fresh blood seeped out. This is impossible. Yu Rinyan roared. He is well aware of Yu Guanshan's strength and is one of the innate experts in the Qingcheng sect. Martial arts system. Beginner, acquired, innate, grandmaster, wending, land immortal, in this era where land immortals do not emerge and the powerful seek refuge. Grandmaster is the strongest existence in the world, second only to Grandmaster as an innate expert, all of whom are powerful figures. Yu Guanshan's strength is second only to the leader Yu Canghai in the Qingcheng sect. Even if we look at the Five Sacred Sword Sect, it can still be considered top-notch. I didn't expect such a person to be severely injured by a young bodyguard's sword outside this small Fuzhou city. This is too absurd. Yu Guanshan is also a bodyguard secretly sent by his father to protect himself. I originally thought that with the protection of mountain views, there would definitely be no risk in this profession. Now it seems that I have overthought it myself. Is this the exorcism sword technique that Dad said? It's really scary. Yue Lingshan, who was originally overly saddened by the death of Laderno, is now only shocked. She has never seen such a terrifying swordsmanship since she was so big. The young escort was just a casual sword. Not only did he break Yu Guanshan's horizontal training skills, but he almost killed him. Such strength is rare even in the Five Sacred Sword Sect. Jie. Yu Guanshan had a bleeding mouth and continued to sneer. Thanks to my golden soft armor, otherwise I would have died with that sword just now. Yu Guanshan stimulates his internal power, shattering his clothes and revealing his golden soft armor. This is the precious golden silk soft armor of the western regions, claiming to be invincible to weapons and water. Unexpectedly, it was obtained by Yu Guanshan. Everyone was shocked. Yu Guanshan was originally a master of external skills. I have reached an extremely high level of horizontal practice in my martial arts. In addition, there is gold wire soft armor protection. If you want to kill him, you must be a master with extremely terrifying internal power like left cold Zen or Ren wishing. It is only possible to shake it to death with internal strength. If I don't kill you today, there will be endless troubles ahead. Little beast, take your life. Yu Guanshan let out a loud shout, his palms infused with powerful internal energy, and his palm slapped Lin Chen, directly knocking at his face. Seeking death. Lin Chen let out a low shout. Unexpectedly, at this moment, Yu Guanshan used his powerful palm power to grab the remaining people and fly out of the inn. He knew he was no match for Lin Chen and fled. Little brute, when I return to Qingcheng Mountain, I will kill all the people in Fuwei Escort Agency. The voice of Yu Guanshan came from outside the inn. Chase. We can't let Yu Guanshan escape. Qingcheng shouted loudly and raised his sword to pursue Yu Guanshan. The feud between the Qingcheng sect and the Fuwei Escort Agency has been settled, and there will definitely be a battle in the future. Yu Guanshan has extremely strong strength. Killing it now is equivalent to cutting off one arm of the Qingcheng sect. He can't run. Lin Chen's gaze was indifferent, and he swept out a sword from the distance. That sword is unbeatable. There is a momentum of sweeping across the 8 wildernesses and 6 harmonies. The sword energy destroyed everything and instantly hit the fleeing Yu Guanshan and Yu Renyan. Ah! Ah! I only heard 2 mournful screams coming from outside the inn. Yu Guanshan and Yu Renyan exploded directly, and their bodies were shattered on the ground. Lin Chen's sword had a ferocious crack. The martial arts and swordsmanship recorded in the Tai Xuan Jing are too domineering, and ordinary weapons cannot withstand such terrifying sword energy. Lin Chen threw away his sword. Everyone present was stunned. Lin Chen killed Yu Guanshan and others with a single sword across the air. Has its internal strength already surpassed figures like Yue Lingshan and Ren wishing? He's only 18 years old. What's going on here? Yu Guanshan is extremely skilled in horizontal training, and it may not be easy to kill him with a sword. That sword contains terrifying sword energy, which can enter the body and kill such horizontal training masters. Relying on sword energy to kill, the Lin family's ancestral sword technique is truly terrifying, even breaking their sword. I see. Yue Lingshan's heart was trembling as she had never seen someone with such terrifying swordsmanship before. The younger generation in the 5 Mountains Sword Sect. Only Ling Huchong, who has recently seen a surge in swordsmanship, can be compared to Lin Chen's swordsmanship. No wonder Dad cares so much about the Lin family's ancestral swordsmanship, it turns out to be so terrifying. Yue Lingshan whispered in secret. Then he cleared up his mood and stood up to walk towards Lin Chen, saying, "Thank you very much, young Master Lin, for taking the initiative to save me. I am extremely grateful. It's a piece of cake." Lin Chen's words were as precious as gold, and he didn't take a second glance at Yue Lingshan. Yue Lingshan was momentarily hesitant and didn't know how to answer. As the daughter of Yu Buchuan, the leader of the Huashan sect, she is beautiful and comes from a good family background. On weekdays, I don't know how many talented people from the martial arts world would flatter me. I didn't expect to be treated like this by a secular little bodyguard. It seems like I am a broom, afraid to avoid it. Yue Lingshan couldn't accept this gap for a moment. Escort, sure, let's go. Lin Chen has no intention of staying here for a long time. Okay. Qingcheng nodded repeatedly, and after this battle, they had no intention of staying here for a long time. Xiao Dart, what about this woman from the Huashan sect? The internal affairs of the 5 Mountains Sword Sect have nothing to do with us. Lin Chen really doesn't want to have any connection with Yue Lingshan. In the future, there will be a battle between him and the Huashan sect. Yu Buchuan is one of the people he must kill. Let's go. Qingcheng nodded and then followed Lin Chen back to the Fuwei escort agency. Chapter 5. Returning to the old house to retrieve the demon repellent sword manual and lead the snake out of the cave. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Fuzhou City, Fuwei Escort Agency. In the evening, a sunset lit up on the horizon. The streets are bustling with figures, playing and singing, and it's really lively. In front of the Lin mansion, several escort vehicles were filled with goods and were preparing to escort on the road. A tall man in his 40s is carefully counting the goods to avoid any omissions. This person is the chief escort of the Fuwei Escort Agency, Lin Chen's father Lin Zhennan. Lin Zhennan instructed a bodyguard, Lu, this journey to Chengdu is far away. You need to be careful and cautious. General Escort, please take care. The reputation of Fuwei Escort Agency has spread far and wide. When young people see our escort flag, they will slip away and everything will be fine. Lu Baotou smiled and said. The 3 generations of escorts from Fuwei Escort Agency are renowned in Fuzhou. In addition to the South Chief Escort of Lin Zhennan, there are also 12 escorts in the Escort Agency, all of whom are heroes in the martial arts world. In addition, Lin Yuantu's reputation still lingers. Therefore, when they are escorting goods, ordinary people naturally dare not have the idea of the Fuwei Escort Agency. Be careful to sail a ship that will last for thousands of years. Lin Zhennan is very cautious. Only he knew that the Fuwei Escort Agency was gradually declining, and his strength was far inferior to his ancestors. Once encountering tough bandits, the Fuwei Escort Agency may not be able to cope. At this moment, another team of people returned with escorts. Above is the flag of the Fuwei Escort Agency. Lin Zhennan looked up and saw that Lin Chen's bodyguard had returned. My son has returned. Lin Zhennan was very pleased to see Lin Chen and his group return safely. I was originally worried that Lin Chen would be too young to bear the hardships of being a bodyguard. I didn't expect him to persist and complete the bodyguard. This surprised Lin Zhennan a bit. Dad, this is the remuneration paid by Mr. Zhou. Please count it. Lin Chen handed a small box of silver to Lin Zhennan. Okay. He truly deserves to be the son of Lin Zhennan. At such an age, he travels alone as a bodyguard. Even if Lin Zhennan dies, he is still worthy of the ancestors of the Lin family. Lin Zhennan's heart was filled with joy, and his face was filled with a smile. Later, he took out some silver coins from the remuneration as a reward for Lin Chen and his group, and smiled, Chenner, these 20 taels of silver are the reward for your bodyguard. Lin Chen only took 10 taels and said, Dad, I only need 10 taels to use. Please help me save the rest for future use when I get married. Xiao Dartu has a long-term vision. If I had a daughter, I would have the audacity to marry Xiao Dartu as his wife. Qingcheng and his entourage laughed heartily. Then Dad will save you. Lin Zhennan smiled brightly. In the past 3 months, Lin Chen's work style has undergone a significant change. From a gentle young man with a gentle personality to a sharp and mature real man. This made him quite pleased. After chatting for a while, Lin Chen's face suddenly became cold and solemn. Dad, let's talk inside. I have something to tell you in detail. Lin Zhennan has never seen Lin Chen show such an expression before. You don't have to think about it to know that there must be something significant to say. He immediately nodded and said, Okay, let's go inside and talk. Subsequently, Lin Chen and Lin Zhennan talked about what had happened outside Fuzhou City. Huashan sect and Qingcheng sect are coveting the inheritance of our Lin family. The south of Lingshan is dignified in color. He is well aware of his own strength. It's okay to deal with secular experts, but it's really necessary to deal with experts like the leader of the Five Sacred Sword Sect. There is no chance of winning at all. If it is indeed as Lin Chen said, there is a risk of the downfall of the Fuwei escort agency. Dad, what exactly is the ancestral property of our Lin family? It will attract the attention of prestigious and righteous sects such as the Qingcheng and Huashan sections. Lin Chen said. He certainly knows that the ancestral item of the Lin family is the exorcism sword manual, but he cannot openly tell his father. Before your great-grandfather passed away, he did say that the Lin family's old house contained ancestral items, but he didn't say what that thing was. He just said that it should not be looked at, otherwise there will be endless disasters. Lin Zhennan shook his head. The treasure that can make the Five Sacred Sword Sect's hearts beat must not be ordinary objects such as gold, silver, and jewelry. It is highly likely to be divine weapons or martial arts secrets. Lin Chen reminded. Is it? Exorcism sword technique. Lin Zhennan's eyes flickered. It must be true, only the warding off evil swordsmanship can make those big names at the gate fight fiercely. The exorcism sword technique is the ancestral sword technique of the Lin family. Back then, Lin Yuantu defeated all the heroes of the world with his 70.2 anti-evil sword techniques. How beautiful the scenery is. Unfortunately, these descendants are not up to par and have not been able to learn a single move. Now that Lin Yuantu has died, the reputation of the Lin family has long been lost, and it is only then that the Five Sacred Sword Sect dares to come up with the idea of the exorcism sword manual. Lin Zhennan's eyebrows furrowed tightly. A face is almost wriggling out of the water. Being targeted by the Five Sacred Sword Sect. This is not a good thing. Lin Chen saw the situation and said, Dad, there's no need to be nervous. After all, the Five Sacred Sword Sect claims to be a prestigious and upright sect, and there is no legitimate reason. They dare not kill our Lin family for no reason. Lin Zhennan nodded and said, You're right. The Five Sacred Sword Sect is not a demonic sect. You can kill anyone you want. However, just in case, Dad immediately wrote a letter and will send someone to your grandfather's house tomorrow to prevent any unexpected events. Grandpa Lin Chen's name is Wang Yuanba, and he is the leader of the Zhongzhou Golden Blade sect. The golden sword in one hand is majestic and invincible. The Golden Blade sect can also be considered a prestigious sect in the entire martial arts world. Lin Chen nodded and said, My grandfather is renowned and claims to be invincible with his golden sword. With him at home, it seems that the Qingcheng and Huashan sects dare not act recklessly. Lin Zhennan said slowly, I hope so. The father and son discussed until late at night before giving up. This night, we were safe and sound. After returning to his room, Lin Chen did not fall asleep, but instead rushed to the ancestral home of the Lin family in the darkness. Search for the demon repeating sword manual. The moon was dark and the wind was high. Lin Chen held a lantern and opened the door of the old house. With a creak, the door opened. Due to being unoccupied for a long time, the old house was covered in dust. And you can also smell a rotten and moldy odor. Lin Chen was familiar with the plot and knew that Lin Yuantu had hidden the demon repellent sword manual on the roof of the Buddhist temple. According to his memory, he quickly found the Buddhist temple. It should be here. Lin Chen lightly tiptoed and then used his lightness skills to fly up to the roof, where he indeed found a robe. Later, he reached out and took out the robe, then carefully flipped through it under the firelight. The moves in the demon repeating sword manual are indeed wonderful, and it is absolutely difficult for ordinary people in the martial arts world to resist this temptation. Lin Chen now learns the Tai Xuan Jing, and naturally does not need to learn the exorcism sword manual. Moreover, even with this kind of martial arts, one has to go to the palace. For a young person from the 21st century, this is simply impossible, okay? Lin Chen came all night to collect the demon repellent sword manual, of course not to practice this swordsmanship. His purpose in doing so is to lure snakes out of their holes. Lead out all the people who are secretly watching the Fuwei escort agency, and then catch them all in one go. Just as he was leaving, he had already noticed that someone was following him along the way. That person has excellent lightness skills and is extremely strong, definitely one of the few experts in the martial arts world. Being an innate expert is quite interesting. Lin Chen secretly said. At the same time, there was a sudden rustling sound in the air. Someone threw a hidden weapon to launch a surprise attack. Ding! Time flies, time flies. Lin Chen instantly drew his sword to counterattack, and with one strike, he flew the hidden weapon away. At this moment, he finally saw the newcomer clearly. One is an old man with white hair all over his head. One is a bald and emaciated middle-aged man. The old man with white hair is called by Tu Xian Wenbu Chen, and the middle-aged bald man is called Bald Eagle Sha Tianjiang. He is an expert from the left Cold Zen sect, the leader of the Songshan sect, who came to steal the Demon Repellent sword manual. Does anyone see it? You are listening at Novel Full.audio. There are saved manuscripts, outlines, and no toxicity. Please feel free to watch. On the first day of the new book, please send all the flower review tickets for support. 2,000 flowers plus 1 change. 100 evaluation votes plus 1 update. 1 reward and 1 update. There are saved manuscripts, outlines, and no toxicity. Please feel free to watch. On the first day of the new book, please send all the flower review tickets for support. 2,000 flowers plus 1 change. 100 evaluation votes plus 1 update. 1 reward and 1 update. There are saved manuscripts, outlines, and no toxicity. Please feel free to watch. On the first day of the new book, please send all the flower review tickets for support. 2,000 flowers plus 1 change. 100 evaluation votes plus 1 update. 1 reward and 1 update. There are saved manuscripts, outlines, and no toxicity. Please feel free to watch. On the first day of the new book, please send all the flower review tickets for support. 2,000 flowers plus 1 change. 100 evaluation votes plus 1 update. 1 reward and 1 update. There are saved manuscripts, outlines, and no toxicity. Please feel free to watch. On the first day of the new book, please send all the flower review tickets for support. 2,000 flowers plus 1 change. 100 evaluation votes plus 1 update. 1 reward and 1 update. Chapter 6. Killing the enemy with 1 move, Yilin appears. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Who should I be? It turns out to be the 13th Taibao of Songshan, the 2 predecessors of Bai Tu Xian Wang and Bald Eagle. Lin Chen's voice was calm, without any signs of nervousness. I didn't expect that after years of retirement, there are still people who remember me. The white-headed immortal Bu chuckled heavily, and at first glance, he really looked like an immortal. Since the 2 predecessors have retired for many years, why did they break into my Lin family's ancestral home at night? Lin Chen is still neither tight nor slow. Little brother, you are also a smart person, why ask so many questions? Bu Chen said. So, are you also doing it for my Lin family's ancestral sword record? Lin Chen's eyes gradually became cold. Yes, there is a big shot who wants to borrow your Lin family's sword score to have a look. Bu Chen said. If I don't borrow it? Lin Chen said. The saying goes that a man is innocent and innocent, but the Lin family is in decline and still possesses treasures such as the sword manual for warding off evil spirits. It's like a 3-year-old child holding gold and flaunting it in the market. All coveters can compete without restraint. If you are willing to hand over the robe in your hand, Bu will ensure the safety of your Lin family. Bu Chen continued. The words were filled with a sense of threat. Upon hearing this, Lin Chen immediately smiled and said, how can we deal with our ancestors? If you want to take it, you must ask if I agree to this sharp sword in my hand. Senior brother Bu, stop talking nonsense to him. As long as you kill him, the sword manual will be ours. Sha Tianjiang was already impatient and immediately drew his sword to kill Lin Chen. At the same time, Bai Tu Xian Wen Bu Chen also drew his sword and attacked. As the 13 guards of the Songshan sect, the two of them are only half as weak as Yu Canghai in terms of strength. In addition, Bu Chen and Sha Tianjiang were originally martial brothers who practiced martial arts and swordsmanship together all year round. The cooperation between the two is tacit, and their combat effectiveness is even more amazing when they work together. Even Yu Canghai may not be their opponent. Song Mountain Sword Technique. Sha Tianjiang let out a loud roar and used 17 Songshan sword techniques. This set of swordsmanship has a wide opening and closing, and the sword energy is as continuous as a huge wave, with a majestic momentum. Wherever the sword energy passed, almost half of the Lin family Buddhist temple was demolished. Lin Chen swam between Bu Chen and Shatian River with his excellent body movements. Although the moves are thrilling, they can cleverly dodge every time. This wonderful body technique is breathtaking. Undoubtedly, they are the 13 guardians of Mount Song, each with outstanding martial arts skills. I'm afraid Lin Chen may not be their opponent. In the dark, a slender woman wearing a black cloak caught a glimpse of this scene. Hand over the demon repeating sword manual and spare you from dying. Bu Chen shouted loudly. The long sword in his hand mercilessly pierced Lin Chen's throat. On the other side, Sha Tianjiang also stabbed a sword and directly took Lin Chen's back. The two of them were sandwiched back and forth, and their speed was surprisingly fast. Even top-notch experts like Yue Lingshan had to be careful when dealing with them. Fat Maze shake the tree, I really thought you could kill me. Lin Chen activates the Tai Xuan Jing. The strong true qi suddenly surged like raging waves. That aura is as strong as ghosts and gods, it's so terrifying. Tai Xuan Jing. This is the top martial arts secret in the world of martial arts. Whether it's swordsmanship, palm techniques, lightness skills, or internal power, they are all top-notch beings. Lin Chen sits with a full-level Tai Xuan Jing. Not to mention walking alone in the martial arts world, one's internal strength is almost there. Although Bu Chen and Sha Tianjiang have been practicing for decades, their internal strength is extremely strong. But compared to Lin Chen, he is still a small wizard but a big wizard. Lin Chen had been entangled with Bu Chen and Sha Tianjiang before, just wanting to try out the wonders of the body techniques in the Tai Xuan Jing. After trying it out now, I naturally won't hesitate. Broken. Lin Chenxiu flicked his finger and instantly broke the long sword in Bu Chen's hand into 2 pieces. Then he pushed out his palm and pressed it directly onto Bu Chen's chest. The terrifying force suddenly erupted within Bu Chen's body. Immediately shattered Bu Chen's 5 organs and 6 internal organs. The latter spewed out a mouthful of black blood and died in exhaustion. With just one move, he killed the famous white-headed immortal Bu Chen. It can be seen that Lin Chen's palm technique is too domineering. Brother Bu. Seeing Bu Chen hit and was killed, Sha Tianjiang's scalp tingled. Die for me. He must kill Lin Chen with one sword if he wants to survive, otherwise he will definitely die. Get lost. Lin Chen let out a loud shout, and a powerful burst of true qi erupted. Unexpectedly, it directly pushed the Shatian River back several tens of meters and immediately spewed out a large mouthful of blood. His face immediately turned pale and pale. It can be seen that the power of that palm has definitely reached an astonishing level. Yue Lingshan, this bastard, actually deceived us, saying that the Fuwei Escort agency has declined and no one is our enemy. Damn it. At the mouth of the Shatian River, he spat out blood and cursed left cold Zen. At the same time, he seized the opportunity and fled immediately. Even my fellow senior brother Bu Chen ignored it. Come if you want, run if you want. What place do you think my Lin family is? Lin Chen's eyes were sharp and cold like knives. Anyone who covets the Lin family will die. Immediately, Lin Chen slapped from the air and directly hit the back of Shatian River. Ah! With a scream, Shatianjiang suddenly turned into a mist of blood. The death method is exactly the same as that of Yuguanshan. At this point, the two great masters of the 13 supreme guards of Songshan have all died at the hands of Lin Chen. The two masters died just like this. The woman in black widened her eyes as if seeing a ghost, her delicate body trembling incessantly. Bu Chen and Sha Tianjiang are experts from Mount Song, with extremely strong abilities. It's a joint battle against the enemy again. Even the leader of the Five Sacred Sword Sect must be careful when dealing with it. But in Lin Chen's hands, he didn't even take a single move. How strong is he really? Come out, may I ask Lin to invite you? Lin Chen had already noticed that someone was hiding in the dark. But the other party seemed to have no ill intentions, and he didn't directly take action. Discovered. The woman in black was surprised, she had already hidden it well enough. I didn't expect to still not avoid Lin Chen's ears and eyes. He has such cultivation and found that I am also very normal. The girl in black gritted her teeth and flew down from the roof. Women. Lin Chen was shocked. The person came wearing a black cloak with their face covered, but still couldn't conceal their curvaceous figure. Just looking at it makes one's imagination wander. Who are you? You also want to snatch my Lin family sword manual? Lin Chenji asked. No, Mr. Lin misunderstood. We're not here to snatch the sword score. The woman in black waved her hands repeatedly. Do you think Lin will believe your words? Since he doesn't have a sword score for my Lin family, how could you appear here? Lin Chen snorted coldly. This. The woman in black struggled for a moment. Then removed the black veil and opened the cloak. She turned out to be an extremely beautiful little nun. Nun. Are you from the Hengshan sect? Lin Chen is so clever. When he saw this little nun, he immediately guessed that she must be from the Hengshan sect. Since she is from the Hengshan faction, what she said is naturally true. After all, Lin Chen also knows the reason why these nuns came to Fuzhou. They were deceived by Left Cold Zen. As a result, their leader was also killed by Left Cold Zen's design. Speaking of which, they are also a group of pitiful people. The little nun nodded and said, yes, I am a disciple of the Hengshan sect, named Yilin. Chapter 7. The Conspiracy Between the Hengshan School and Left Cold Zen. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Are you Yilin? Lin Chen was somewhat surprised. Lin Gongzi knows me. Yilin's eyes widened wide, revealing a look of confusion. She was puzzled. The two had never met before. How did Lin Chen get to know her? Cough. I also heard that there was a young master named Yilin in Hengshan who had profound Buddhist teachings, so I remembered it. As you know, our Lin family has always had a connection with Buddha. Lin Chen quickly fooled the way. Oh. Upon hearing this, Yilin immediately blushed and stopped asking further questions. Returning to the topic, Lin Chen continued, Master Yilin, forgive me for being blunt. Although you are a monk, I find it difficult to believe what you say. After all, the Hengshan sect is also one of the Five Sacred Sword Sect. How can I know if this is a conspiracy of your Five Sacred Sword Sect to deceive the Lin family? Upon hearing that Lin Chen still didn't believe what she was saying, Yilin hurriedly said, Master Lin, our Hengshan sect is really not what you think. We came to Fuzhou not for your family's ancestral sword manual, but to prevent people from the demon sect from stealing the demon repellent sword manual and causing harm to the martial arts world. Yilin then explained the matter in detail. Originally, Left Cold Zen, the leader of the Songshan sect, told Abbess Dingy, the master of Yilin, that people from the demon sect would go to Fuzhou to snatch the demon repellent sword manual. And it further endangers the martial arts world. In order to prevent the tricks of the demon cult from succeeding, Yue Lingshan requested that the Hengshan sect go to Fuzhou to eliminate the followers of the demon cult. Abbess Dingy is a righteous person and doesn't have that much thought, so she naturally agreed to everything. That's why we have this scene now. Since Yue Lingshan asked you to deal with the people of the demon sect, why did the Songshan sect come to steal our Lin family's ancestral sword manual? Do you think that the people of the Songshan sect are kind-hearted and want to keep the exorcism sword manual for our Lin family? Lin Chen snorted coldly. These foolish nuns were tricked by Yue Lingshan into going to Fuzhou. If nothing unexpected happens, he will be killed in a few days by people from the left cold Zen sect who pretend to be followers of the demon sect. This is a typical case of being sold and helping people pay. Stupid enough. However, this also indicates that Yue Lingshan did everything in his power to become the leader of the Five Sacred Mountains Alliance. Anyone who obstructs his footsteps will be cruelly killed by him. I also find it strange why the seniors of Mount Song would come to snatch your Lin family sword manual. Have we been deceived by left cold Zen? Yilin was lost in thought. Although she is inexperienced in the world, it does not mean she is foolish, on the contrary, she is quite intelligent. Lin Chen gave a slight touch and she realized that there must be something suspicious about this matter. You're not too foolish. Lin Chen said, all of this is Yue Lingshan's plan. You have been deceived. How could they do this? The Songshan sect is a prestigious and upright sect. Yilin gritted her teeth and looked disappointed. She originally thought that the Five Sacred Sword Sect was united, thriving and losing together. I didn't expect the truth to be so cruel. The martial arts world is treacherous. It's best for you monks to go back and recite scriptures. Don't blindly participate. Since you're not here to steal my Lin family sword manual, I won't be difficult for you. You go back. Lin Chen said. He is not indiscriminately killing innocent people. Besides, the Hengshan sect are all nuns and have no ill intentions towards the Lin family. He has no reason to kill the people of the Hengshan sect. I need to quickly go back and tell my master about the matter, Master Lin. We will meet later. Yilin put on her veil and cloak again. Then he clasped his hands together and bowed to Lin Chen, quickly disappearing into the darkness. Yilin had just left when another person hurriedly arrived. It's actually Lin Zhennan. He frowned as soon as he entered the room. I saw a mess all over the ground, and there was an old man with a white head lying in his cave. My son Lin Chen remained unscathed. Dad, why did you come? Lin Chen asked. I also heard from the night watchers that there was a fight here at the ancestral house, and I was worried that something might happen, so I rushed over. Lin Zhennan said, then looked at Lin Chen. Chener, why are you here? What's going on here? Dad, listen to me, they are members of the Songshan sect. Lin Chen knew he couldn't hide it, so he explained the whole story. Of course, he intentionally overlooked the specific details of killing Bu Chen and Sha Tianjiang. The people of the Five Sacred Sword Sect are indeed true to their unwavering thieves' hearts. Lin Zhennan's eyebrows furrowed tightly. He originally thought that the Five Mountain Sword Sect would take at least some time to deal with the Lin family. I didn't expect them to come so fast. If it weren't for Lin Chen's timely discovery and intervention to prevent it. The ancestral property of the Lin family has already fallen into the hands of others. What puzzled Lin Zhennan even more was that Lin Chen was able to kill two famous members of the Songshan sect. Despite his doubts, Lin Zhennan did not ask in detail. He is well aware that there are many opportunities in this world. As long as you are lucky enough and have some opportunities, you can soar to the sky. He believed that Lin Chen must have had some kind of opportunity to make his martial arts so profound and unpredictable. This is a good thing. The stronger Lin Chen is, the safer the Lin family is. Lin Chen took out the robe filled with the exorcism sword manual and said, "Dad, this is the ancestral treasure of our Lin family. Do you want to open it and take a look?" Lin Zhennan looked at the robe with particularly complicated eyes. After a long time, he shook his head and said, "Your great-grandfather, Yuantu Gong, left behind a testament that future generations are not allowed to read and examine, otherwise there will be endless troubles ahead. As a father, you cannot violate the testament. You should keep this family's secret treasure." Lin Zhennan is a loyal and kind person. Although his wise robe records unparalleled swordsmanship, he still chooses to abide by his ancestral teachings. He knows about peerless swordsmanship, not just about practicing it. High talent is needed, otherwise Lin Yuantu would have passed down his swordsmanship long ago. The saying goes that a man is innocent and harbors a guilty conscience. If there is no strong strength to rely on, this robe will become a life-threatening talisman. He will be killed at any time. Lin Chen's martial arts are outstanding, with the style of his ancestors. The most correct choice is for him to keep the demon-repelling sword manual. Okay, this sword manual is currently in my possession. Lin Chen nodded and said. He wants to try adapting the exorcism sword technique through the system. Allow normal people to practice as well. There is another more important reason. The sword manual for warding off evil spirits is bound to make Xianxia and others take risks in this world. At that time, I will have sufficient reasons to kill Xianxia, Yue Lingshan, Wuxia, and others. Chenner, let's go back first. It's time to renovate this ancestral home. When Dad gets old, he'll come here to take care of him, and the escort agency will leave it to you to take care of. Lin Zhennan laughed heartily. Dad, you're still young. It's not a problem to run the Fuwei escort agency until you're 100 years old. Lin Chen smiled and said. The father and son joked all the way back to the Fuwei escort agency. At this point, it was already early morning. Lin Chen practiced the Tai Xuan Jing, and his true energy was vigorous and full of energy. Even if you don't rest or sleep for a month, you won't feel tired. In the early morning, pedestrians rush on the street, buying morning tea and breakfast. It's very lively. At some point, someone walked into the Fuwei escort agency. Chapter 8. Escort on the road, undercurrent flows. You are listening at novelfull.audio. That person has a slender figure and is dressed in luxurious clothing. At first glance, it is evident that this person is either wealthy or noble. The man in Huafu immediately approached Lin Chen and asked, "Little brother, may I ask if this is the Fuwei escort agency?" Lin Chen glanced at the person and then said, "Yes, do you need any help from us?" The man in Huafu nodded and said, "I have a batch of goods to be sent to Sichuan, but the journey is far away and many escort agencies are afraid to pick them up. I heard that Fuwei escort agency is famous all over the world and there are no escort agencies that dare not leave, so I came to ask." Sichuan. Lin Chen ponders. That place is indeed impoverished, with numerous bandits and bandits. Every year, many incidents of robbing and killing darts occur. And there are many demonic believers gathered, such as the demonic master Blue Phoenix walking around the Sichuan area. Some escort agencies are unwilling to go to Sichuan to escort, mostly for their own safety reasons. No matter how much money you have, you still need to spend your life. Task release. Help customers escort goods to Sichuan. At this point, the system has finally released a new task. System task. If I don't take it now, I'll have to take it. Lin Chen immediately smiled and said, "Our Fuwei escort agency is open for business, and there is no reason to drive customers out. As long as the remuneration is in place, even if it's a matter of money and expenses, we guarantee to deliver it to you." The man in Huafu nodded slightly when he saw Lin Chen agreeing so readily and said, "Delightful. So I'll leave this batch of goods to your Fuwei escort agency to escort." Subsequently, the man in Chinese attire took out a small box. Upon opening it, it was filled with gold. This is half of the deposit. After the task is completed, I will pay the remaining compensation. At first glance, Lin Chen saw about 100 taels. What exactly is it? The cost of escorting goods alone is worth 100 taels of gold. It's easy to say. Lin Chen calmly accepted the deposit. I don't know where the goods you want to escort are. The man in Chinese attire took out another exquisite small box, which was only the size of a slap, and said, "This is the goods I want to escort." Is that all? Lin Chen showed a hint of surprise. What exactly is inside this small box? It's so precious. Yes, you just need to deliver this item to the Lord's mansion in Sichuan, and I will pay the remaining compensation myself. The man in splendid attire said. It's easy to say, since we promised to help you with this escort, we will personally deliver whatever it is. Lin Chen readily agreed. With the words Fuwei Escort Agency, I can rest assured. The man in splendid attire nodded, then chatted with Lin Chen for a while, and after giving repeated instructions, he left. Lin Chen found Lin Zhennan and handed him 100 taels of gold. Dad, someone asked me to escort this morning. This is the deposit. 100 taels of gold. Lin Zhennan took a deep breath. He has been a bodyguard for many years, and it is the first time he has met an employer who has made such a generous move. Apart from surprise, there is more to worry about. The remuneration for this escort is too high, and the goods must be worth a lot. Escorting this kind of thing on the road may cause a lot of trouble. What is so precious? Even the escort fee is worth 100 taels of gold. Lin Zhennan said. That's this thing. Lin Chen took out the box. A small box. Lin Zhennan was shocked and soon his face turned cold. This item is definitely extraordinary, and I'm afraid this trip will bear great risks. Dad, there's no need to worry. With the current reputation of our Fuwei Escort Agency, no one in the martial arts world dares to have any ideas about us. Lin Chen is not worried at all, with his current martial arts cultivation level. Unless it is a land immortal, no one can harm him at all. But those old monsters hide in caves and practice hard to avoid the world. There's no time to meddle in mundane matters. My son has excellent martial arts skills, so naturally my father is not worried, but the martial arts world is dangerous. After all, you lack experience, so you must be careful and cautious this time. Lin Zhennan remembered that Lin Chen could kill Bu Chen and Sha Tianjiang. Suddenly, I felt a lot more at ease. Lin Chen currently only lacks experience in the martial arts world, so it's a great opportunity for him to fully experience it. The martial arts world is not always about fighting and killing, there are also many worldly wisdom. The child remembers. Lin Chen nodded. After chatting with the father and son for a while, Lin Chen set off to escort. Brother, I heard you're going to Sichuan to escort. Can you take me with you? I heard that magic in Sichuan is very fun, and I really want to see it. A handsome young man suddenly burst out. The boy's name is Lin Pingji, which is Lin Chen's younger brother. The journey to Sichuan is far away, and you are still young. In 2 more years, I will personally take you on a few escort trips to gain a deeper understanding. Lin Chen smiled and said. Big brother, are you serious? Don't lie to me. Lin Pingji's face was beaming with joy. Don't act recklessly in peace. Your elder brother has his own important matters to deal with. You need to watch the magic tricks, which can be seen in the opera troupes in Fuzhou City. Lin Zhennan shouted softly. Hey! I can't go again. Lin Pingji helplessly lowered his head. During the time when Big Brother is away, you should practice martial arts well at home and become a great bodyguard in the future. Lin Chen touched his head. I will work hard to learn martial arts and become a bodyguard like my elder brother in the future. Lin Pingji looked at Lin Chen with a look of admiration in his eyes. The two brothers exchanged pleasantries, and Lin Chen rode on a white horse and left. There were very few goods on this trip, and time was tight. Lin Chen decided to travel alone. This is also Lin Chen's first time escorting alone. I hope Chinner has a safe journey. Lin Zhennan watched outside the door for a long time until Lin Chen's figure completely disappeared, and then he reluctantly returned to the escort agency. Lin Chen's white foal is a fine horse. Traveling thousands of miles a day, with excellent physical strength. After running on the road for 7 consecutive days, I finally arrived at Hengyang City. Hengyang City. The millennium-old city, Hengshan School, is located on the southern mountain of Hengshan. As it was getting late, Lin Chen came to an inn in Hengyang City to stay overnight. The waiter was shocked to see Lin Chen's dignified demeanor. "Sir, would you like to take a break or stay at the hotel? Check in and serve me some Hengyang City specialty dishes." Lin Chen casually threw an ingot of silver to the waiter. The waiter saw the money and smiled. "Sir, please wait a moment." Lin Chen immediately found a table in the corner and sat down. Not long after, the waiter served a few Hengyang City specialty dishes. The people here are all spicy and cheerful. At first glance, they are all chili peppers. Lin Chen didn't hesitate to eat, so he immediately picked up his chopsticks and started eating. "Have you heard that Lu Zhengfeng from the Hengshan sect will wash his hands tomorrow and no longer inquire about matters in the martial arts world? This time, all major sects have sent people to participate in Lu Zhengfeng's Golden Bowl wash hands, which is a great face for the Hengshan sect. Don't you think it's strange? Lu Zhengfeng is the second most important figure in the Hengshan sect. Why wash his hands with gold? As far as I know, Lu Zhengfeng seems to have a close relationship with people from the demon cult in recent years. The Hengshan sect is one of the 5 Sacred Sword Sect, a prestigious and righteous sect. How could they collude with the demon cult? Famous and upright. I heard that you have just come out to wander the rivers and lakes." In the inn, a group of martial artists were chatting and chatting. Lin Chen listened to all of this in his ears. Lu Zhengfeng was tired of the open and secret struggles in the martial arts world, and was close friends with Chu Yang from the demon cult, so he decided to wash his hands in a golden bowl. Study the rhythm wholeheartedly. But things didn't go as planned, and Yue Lingshan wouldn't easily let him go. In the end, we ended up with a family in ruins. In no time, 4 extraordinary young masters holding long swords arrived at the inn. The 4 of them glanced at Lin Chen and immediately sat down at the table opposite him. Henyang City is now gathering heroes from all directions, with hidden currents surging and various forces pouring in. Chapter 9. Narrow Enemies Road, Accidental Encounter with 4 Beauties in Qingcheng. You are listening at novelfull.audio. These 4 people are called Ho Renying, Hong Renxiong, Yu Renhao, and Luo Renjie. People in the martial arts world call them heroes and heroes, the 4 beauties of Qingcheng. Shortly after Qingcheng Sishio sat down, 3 nuns walked into the inn. Lin Chen glanced and found out that it was Yilin and others. Are they here to attend Lu Zhengfeng's Golden Bowl handwashing ceremony? He thought for a moment and felt that there was only this possibility. Yilin entered the inn and soon saw Lin Chen alone in the corner. She was overjoyed and walked up to greet, "Young Master Lin, I didn't expect us to meet so soon." Lin Chen was shocked. He didn't originally want to actively contact the people of the Hengshan sect. "I didn't expect to be recognized by Yilin, so I nodded and said, yes, I didn't expect to meet Little Master Yilin in Yayang City. Lin Chen really has a connection with the Buddha." Yilin knew that Lin Chen was teasing her about being arrested at the Lin family's old house. The pretty face turned red with just one swipe, and then deliberately changed the topic. "Lin Gongzi, are you also here to participate in Mr. Lu's Golden Bowl wash hands of the Hengshan sect?" "No, my bodyguard just passed by here." Lin Chen shook his head. "That's really a coincidence." Yilin nodded lightly. At this moment, her two senior sisters also walked over and said, Yilin, do you know this benefactor? Yilin quickly introduced, Qingcheng, senior sister Yun, this is Mr. Lin from the Fuwei Escort Agency. Senior sisters Qingcheng and Yun approached and saluted, Qingcheng and Yun, have met Master Lin. Lin Chen replied, you two masters are polite. Qingcheng and Yun saw Lin Chen being polite, so their impression of him naturally improved a bit. Lin Chen said again, if the three masters don't mind, they can sit at the same table with me. There are exactly 4 seats. Yilin smiled and said, thank you very much, young Master Lin. Upon seeing this, Qingcheng and Yun had no choice but to sit down happily and say, thank you very much, young Master Lin. You're welcome. Lin Chen asked the waiter to serve some vegetarian dishes. This little money is naturally not worth mentioning to him. The conversation between Lin Chen and the others naturally caught the ears of the 4 beauties in Qingcheng. As soon as they heard the words, Fuwei Escort Agency, they immediately revealed their killing intent. Because Uncle Yu and his junior brother Yu Renyan were killed by Lin Chen. Yu Canghai had already instructed them to kill the people from the Fuwei Escort Agency without mercy. I didn't expect the killer to be sitting right in front of me at this moment. Master invited us to attend Senior Lu Zhengfeng's Golden Bowl handwashing ceremony, but we didn't expect to encounter enemies. It's really a narrow path for enemies. Ho Renying whispered. Senior brother, should we take action? Hong Renxiong's eyes showed a fierce expression. There are rumors in the martial arts world that the Lin family has already taken out the exorcism sword manual, and it is in the hands of Lin Chen, the eldest son of the Lin family. If we kill him, the exorcism sword manual will be ours. Yu Renhao's gloomy way. The sword manual for warding off evil spirits, a sword technique that even my master covets. If we were to obtain it, who would still be our opponent in the martial arts world? Luo Renjia had a passionate expression on his face. Kill him, the sword manual will be ours. With the joint efforts of the 4 of us, it shouldn't be difficult to kill him. The 4 of them all showed a fierce expression. Qingcheng Xixio travels in the martial arts world, always accompanied by 4 people, who are like twin brothers. Growing up together, practicing swordsmanship together. 4 people fighting together, it's difficult for the younger generation to find opponents. Killing Lin Chen, who is even younger than them, is not a problem. The 4 of them discussed in a low voice, but they didn't expect that they couldn't escape Lin Chen's ears. The Tai Xuan Jing is infinitely mysterious. When practiced to a very high level, one's hearing will be much sharper than that of ordinary people. These few people are actually the 4 beauties of Qingcheng, it's really a journey of enemies. Lin Chen sneered inwardly. Since it's an enemy, then let's kill it clean. But at this moment, the 4 beauties of Qingcheng stood up together and surrounded Lin Chen. Ho Renying approached and questioned, are you Lin Chen from the Fuwei Escort Agency? This scene caused the inn to explode, and everyone looked towards Lin Chen. I don't know what happened either. Difficulty is impossible, there will be another fierce battle. In the martial arts world, there are daily grudges, which is not surprising. So what? Lin Chen casually replied. Good, good, good. You killed my senior uncle Yu Guanshan and my junior brother Yu Renyan. Do you admit this? Hong Renxiong sneered. Yu Renyan wanted to kill me, but was killed by me instead. How could he get into your mouth and become mine? Is it only allowed for him to kill me and not allowed for me to kill him? Is it because your Qingcheng sect failed to open up this martial arts world? Lin Chen said coldly. Stop talking nonsense, killing pays off. It's natural and natural. Today, I, the 4 Xios of Qingcheng, will kill you to avenge my senior uncle and junior brother. Yu Renhao scolded. The atmosphere at the inn suddenly became tense. There is a strong trend of merging at the slightest disagreement. Yilin saw that the situation was not right and quickly said, for senior brothers, are there any misunderstandings? Misunderstanding. Luo Renjie sneered, Lin Chen killed my senior uncle and junior brother. This grudge is irreconcilable, and it has nothing to do with your Hengshan sect. I advise you not to meddle in your own affairs. Murder pays off. Fair and just. Yilin was momentarily speechless and didn't know what to do. Master Yilin, please step down. The matter in the martial arts world will be resolved by the martial arts world. Lin Chen's eyes turned cold, and a killing intent emerged. In the martial arts world, only fists are the truth. Otherwise, it would be like today, clearly killing enemies in self-defense, but still being charged with murder. Okay, then let's settle the matter in the martial arts world. This is what Qingcheng said. In this way, they had ample excuses to kill Lin Chen. Then, in a grand manner, he snatched away the exorcism sword manual. Lin, be careful, the four of them are very strong. Yi Qing reminded me and then stepped aside. She thought to herself that if Lin Chen couldn't support her, she would go up and help. Only Yilin was not worried at all, but rather worried that Lin Chen might accidentally kill Qingcheng. In this way, the Qingcheng sect will truly become unparalleled. At the same time. Kill. Ho Renying and four others all launched a move together. The Pine Wind sword technique is agile and elegant, with unparalleled swordsmanship. With the cooperation of four people, its power is doubled. For a moment, the sword was shining brightly, like a fleeting light flashing in the inn. It's overwhelming to see. Lin Chen held a long sword and engaged in a fight with the four of them. For a moment, sword light and shadow, sword energy crisscrossed. The two sides are fighting evenly. Master Lin can easily compete with the four shows of Qingcheng alone. The swordsmanship of Fuwei Escort Agency is truly exquisite. Yi Qing was amazed. She saw Lin Chen's swordsmanship for the first time and immediately admired it. My junior sister previously said that Lin Chen's swordsmanship was outstanding, but I still don't believe it. Now, as soon as I see it, it truly lives up to its reputation. Yi Yun nodded. Lin Gongzi's swordsmanship is indeed very exquisite, but... Yilin wanted to say something, but she felt a bit strange. Bai Tu Xian Wenbu Chen and Bald Eagle Sha Tianjiang are both first-class experts, and together they are no weaker than the four shows of Qingcheng. Lin Chen can easily kill. Why are you still fighting back and forth with Qingcheng? And this set of swordsmanship is very different from what I saw last time, although Lin Chen's swordsmanship displayed this time is exquisite. But it is very cunning and ruthless, almost every move would take a person's life. Yilin doesn't know. This set of swordsmanship was adapted by Lin Chen based on the exorcism swordsmanship. The three sets of swordsmanship recorded in the Tai Xuan Jing. Each set is incredibly exquisite. Lin Chen's swordsmanship can be said to be unparalleled in the world, even Xia Xiaofeng and others may not be as skilled as him. He made a preliminary improvement to the exorcism sword manual based on his understanding of swordsmanship and the techniques recorded in the exorcism sword manual. This time, I happened to train my skills with Qingcheng for show. It was only at the beginning that I was unfamiliar with swordsmanship that it seemed like there was a battle between me and the four shows of Qingcheng. There are still many areas that need to be improved in this set of swordsmanship. After the swordsmanship is completed, its power will definitely be comparable to the complete version of the exorcism swordsmanship. Lin Chen secretly said. With this set of swordsmanship, the Lin family no longer needs to learn those inferior martial arts.